How's it going, everybody? Carlos Pazza here with carlospazzadrums.com. So this is a reaction video. I've never done one of these. I don't expect to do many. But I was recently approached by a woman named Kize, and she wanted to learn to play drums in 30 days for her YouTube channel, which is, the premise is exactly that. She learns different things in 30 days. The link to her channel is below. I highly recommend going, clicking. She's got a bunch of videos up by now, and there's some fun ones. There's a drawing one, spinning a basketball. So it's great because you get to watch a person try to do something in 30 days, and you know, because now I know her personally, it really does take the personality that she's got, which is like defiant till the end, like I'm gonna do this. Very, very determined, which is why she was able to do it. She learned to play Bruno Mars song in 30 days. I won't tell you which song, you know, that'll be a surprise. So I've got the the video pulled up. The link to that video is below in case you want to go watch it on her channel as well, but we're gonna watch it together right now. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done a reaction video, so let's watch this. I was with her through the process. We had a couple lessons, but the majority of what you're going to see was her applying, the elbow grease and getting it done. So I helped her along the way, but she absolutely, put the work in and was able to learn how to play the drums in 30 days. So let's watch.
What is going on? Move! What's up, y'all? It's Kize. On this channel, I try to learn a new skill as quickly as possible, and for this month, I'll be doing the drums. I have exactly 0 experience playing the drums, but the goal for this month will be to try to play Bruno Mars's Runaway Baby by day 30. This song.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know the first thing about drums. I think this is gonna be pretty interesting. This is definitely the most ambitious project I've taken on so far, so I'm gonna have to be super strategic in the way that I go about this learning process. That's really it for the intro. Let's get into the challenge. Let go. Before I even started playing the drums,
So it's a good thing that she knew ahead of time that this was gonna be difficult. She probably was well aware that drumming is no easy feat, so that was good. She didn't walk in blind. She knew that this was going to be tough, which is probably why she was able to accomplish it, because she knew going in that she was going to have to put a lot of work in.
I had to first set up my kit.
Yep. Oh, don't do that.
Alright, so these are all the things that I have to put together. I didn't realize the first part of the
This is basically Rome. Did you see that?
Tutorial.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
Nice.
You finally
There
see
you
that in
go.
real life. As you can see, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing with the drums, but thankfully I found a drum learning platform online called Drumeo. Drumeo has some very good courses for beginner drummers, where they go through the very basic building blocks of drumming that you have to know right off the bat. This includes how to hold drumsticks, technique, basic theory, and getting acquainted to the different parts of the drums. This first day was just me struggling to get acquainted with different parts of the drums.
So I like that she did that Drumeo thing, which of course I'm not going to recommend Drumeo over you coming to me for lessons. But when we first talked about it, she had already paid into the program and was getting ready to use that, in which case I told her, of course, do that. But I think it's great that they have a video talking about the grip, and it looks like her grip is awesome. We talked about grip a little bit. By the time she got to me for our lessons, she had already pretty much understood the way the grip was supposed to be, clearly because of those videos. So I mean, I know Drumeo is a good resource, but that's good to see that they teach grip, because I see a lot of teachers who don't teach grip, and it's frustrating.
It's time for I Hope My Neighbors Don't Hate Me Today. Whenever
Yep.
I'm learning a new skill, I
The
like
life
to
of a drummer.
immerse myself in the general total landscape of the skill at the very beginning. So for this challenge, I designed and created an intense drumming boot camp for myself to take on for the first few days. I worked through the Drumeo method, took detailed notes of what I was learning. Lastly, I drilled through different rudiments in the Drumeo method. To define a rudiment simply, it's the basic rhythmic pattern that is found in a lot of music. My process of drilling through rudiments was very simple. For example, I would see this rudiment, be intimidated for a hot second. What is going on? And then I would slow it down and try to copy the movements. When I was comfortable playing it at a certain speed, I would bring the speed up. By repeating this process, I'd be able to play it 4 times in a row at 80 beats per minute, in which I would move on to the next set of rudiments. There we go. Some rudiments take a longer time to get a hang of, while others I could get pretty easily, but as long as I started slow and went to a faster tempo.
Look at that pinky sticking out. You saw the pinky? You can't see it now, but that pinky was out. I think that was one of the things we talked about. I see a pinky out pretty much every day of my life as a teacher.
I was able to get it. By the end of the mini boot camp, I was able to play my first song. Maybe because I played the piano before and I feel like I have a pretty good sense of rhythm and coordination. I felt like I was improving pretty quickly, and it was a ton of fun going through the basics, but I wasn't really sure if I was doing anything wrong. So I sent a video over to one of Drumeo's instructors for some feedback.
That foot.
For 1 week? Are you kidding me? Clearly. Great time, great feel. Played all the fills, everything is happening. You're doing all the right stuff. The one thing I want to talk about is your bass drum. We do see you're picking up that.
Yep, see?
Right? The best thing you can try and do there is keep your foot on that pedal. This is really going to be a big difference when you start playing faster stuff.
Looks like I'm on relatively the right path.
So, with Drumeo, I guess if you sign up for their paid program, you can send them video footage and they'll send you back, which was that gentleman. Obviously, very impressed that she was able to do everything that she did in 1 week. So after a week, she's clearly already on the right path. And so you can see him saying, obviously, everything she did was great, but let's talk about that foot. And it was, in fact, she was bringing her foot up off the pedal, and you always want to keep contact.
Now that I'm done with this high-level boot camp, it's time to buckle down and focus in on the song that I'm learning this month.
This is what I say.
No. Well, I have my work cut out for me for this month. To get a clear understanding of what I was up against, I reached out to an expert. Good, how are you?
Doing good. There we go.
Carlos has been playing the drums for over 20 years and teaching online for over 10. I first asked him what would be the hardest part of this challenge.
You're going to want to work on that right hand speed. The overall coordination of all these patterns is going to be tricky, thinking about right hand, right foot, right hand, left hand, and all these things hitting at the same time or hitting one after the other.
It's clear by now that the hardest part of the song is going to be the speed, which is 164 beats per minute. This is unexpectedly pretty freaking fast, and I'm very worried that I'm not going to be able to hit this by the end of the 30 days. But Carlos is giving me some good technique tips that will help me bring up that speed.
It's called the whip. It's almost like a cheat code, essentially. You hit one, and then as you're bringing the hand up and twisting that wrist, it's almost like you hit like an accidental note.
With all this info to remember, it's time to go into the song. At least I got the first note. So one thing that I try to do while learning a kinetic skill, I like to close my eyes when I'm going through the motions. By doing this, I'm training myself early on to really ingrain the movements into my body and not be relying so much on visual cues. Since I only have 30 days to do this, I really need to drill this into my body ASAP. For the next few days, I split up the song into different sections.
So I'm going to stop right there for a second. One of the first things I told Kize was it's important to understand the difference between sheet music as it's written, as you see here, and oftentimes how it's actually played out in the song. It's not the same. And when they play it live, it's different than what it's written here. The fills are different. A lot of stuff is different about what you hear on a record versus what you hear live. And then, of course, you go to YouTube and you look at tutorial videos and there's another 100 different versions for you to look at. So we ended up going with what she had written here because she had already started to familiarize herself with it, and we decided, look, it's not necessary to have you relearn this song based on what it is on the record, because that doesn't actually matter. You go and watch it live and the drummer's doing 100 different things than he would do when he did it in the recording studio. So we ended up sticking with this, even though it is different in the song. There's actually certain parts of the song that are really, really, really interesting and complex drum patterns, which the engineer just mixed all the way to the back and you can barely hear it. So you hear the voice, which is the main appeal of that style of music. So
and just drill them over again, trying to get the movements into my brain.
Yeah.
Like the rudiments in the boot camp, practice was pretty straightforward from this point onward. Every day, I would slowly push myself over the speed I was comfortable at. By day 12, I'm able to play the speed at about 125 beats per minute, which is about 75% of...
Yeah, that was one of the things we said was, she said at the beginning of the video, the biggest thing was going to be speed. You're going to learn the song, no problem. The problem is going to be cranking up the tempo. And so what we did was we talked about the whole song at a lower speed, perfected the beats, perfected the patterns, discussed the technique at those lower speeds, and then all she was going to have to worry about for the rest of the, you know, how many days she had left. I think at this point she was like, you know, 2 weeks in or 3 weeks in. All she was going to have to worry about was just cranking up that tempo, 5 BPMs at a time, and just going little by little until eventually you're at 100%. So what you're seeing here is exactly what we talked about. Learn it slow, then bring up the tempo. And if you're one of my students, you've heard me say that 1,000 times.
Full tempo. Also at this point, I was noticing distinct...
There's that pinky. See it? There's that pinky. I see you. But everything else in the grip looks good. Flat thumb, right? The fingers here are loose, but they're on the stick. You want your fingers to be in contact with the stick at all times, or else what are they doing? But they have to be a little bit loose to let the stick rebound. That little pinky. We talked about that too. She made note of that. I remember at one point she started really focusing on getting that pinky in there.
Weaknesses in my playing. There's 2 limiting factors that are preventing me from speeding up. Number 1 is the in-between notes between the different phrases. So those are the fills and the flams.
Yep.
I think I just need to practice them over and over. The big problem here is my bass note. This little guy here. The bass note is my enemy for this challenge. I'm not able to keep up the pace of my foot with the pace of my hand motions. I'll keep drilling my foot to strengthen it. In the meantime, I have another lesson with Carlos, in which he gave me a lot of exercises to work on.
Flam, bass. But watch how my arms never stop moving. For some reason, I imagine like the mechanism on the wheels of a locomotive. When you're doing it around the drums, there has to be the fluidity where there isn't stopping and starting. It's got this constant flow. Yep. Aha! That was much more fluid. And the flam started sounding a lot cleaner. You can tell how well you're doing if you're having a lot of fun playing it. And that probably means that it's so memorized that you're just loose and you're just jamming.
It's halfway through the process.
So just to expand on that, so 2 things. One, the locomotive thing. Oh shoot, my microphone. All right, we're going micless. I don't know how long that's been happening, but the mic ran out of room. It's fine. So the locomotive thing is, you know, beginning drummers do this like start and stop thing. There's like a lot of like, oh, I'm here, and then, oh, I'm here, and then they stop, and then, oh, I'm coming back, and then, oh, I'm moving up. No, it's got to be fluid. You got to tighten up the core, and you've got to always be fluid and moving, because then it's smooth. The other good metaphor or analogy for it is a tree, because the trunk of the tree is always solid, and because it's so solid, it gives the branches leeway to sway, which they're always doing. You know, I feel like even if there's no wind whatsoever, there's still going to be a little bit of movement, right? A bird flies and lands on a branch or whatever. Like, so there's, and then of course the winds kick up high and the branches sway like crazy and the trunk's not moving, and you know, it doesn't make any difference to the trunk. So if you're tight in your core, which is your trunk, it gives the branches permission to move freely, and then you can be more like a locomotive and play smoothly and not feel like a robot. So it's not just the movement of your arms being consistent, it's the strength of the core having to stay solid in order to allow you to move.
Project, and I'm definitely not at that point yet.
Yeah, look, she was halfway at this point. So imagine being able to do all that only at halfway. Yep, that was a good one.
The start of calluses. We love it.
My base note was...
Oh, she gave herself a negative hobby point on that one. I disagree. The calluses, the blisters and everything, those are the points. That's how you know you're on the right track. That is what's the word? What's the word I'm thinking of? I can't remember the word. It's almost like a reward unto itself. You know, it's like a reference to how well you're doing. Like, how much are you practicing? I'm practicing this much. I'm literally bleeding. So I wouldn't have given that a negative. I would have given that a +2.
It was still kind of giving me problems, but I was drilling my fills and my flams over and over and over again for the next few days. Probably to the detriment of my own ears and my neighbor's sanity, but I was definitely seeing an improvement in my fills and my flams.
Yeah, I remember running that fill. There you go.
Hold on. Let me try to explain this. My bass foot was having trouble keeping up. One note that I could not get on time. I was always late to it. But now I'm realizing that it's not that note that is the issue. It's the note before it. Whenever I hit it, I was hitting it for too long and too hard. I was holding it. And because I was holding it, I wasn't able to hit the next note. To combat that, every time I hit that note, instead of doing that and holding it, which makes it a lot harder to prepare for the next note, I'm just gonna lightly hit that note. Literally my entire leg is engaged. If I just do that, I can hit their next note right away.
I tested it out, and sure enough, I could keep up a lot easier.
God, I was so focused on that problem note, but the real culprit is the note before it.
For the final few days of the boot camp, drumming was the only thing on my mind. And the last few days was the final sprint of trying to put everything...
Oh, she got in trouble for... Oh my gosh, welcome to being a drummer, getting in trouble for drumming on stuff. In church, I would get in trouble. In school, I would get in trouble. Yeah, constantly. At dinner table, you get in trouble. Everywhere, all the time. I like that she... And we did talk about bass technique, which is why at the beginning of the video you see her foot all the way up at the bass pedal, and then as this video progresses you start to see her foot start closer to like the middle of the pedal, which was my influence. But we didn't talk about that 2-note technique because she figured it out on her own, as you saw literally right there. That flick, you don't, if you're hitting 1 note, you can just stomp it. If you're hitting 2 notes, you can't stomp them both. Like she said, that's impossible, especially those higher speeds. So it has to be almost like a ricochet, like you're tapping, then you're stomping, boom, boom. So yeah, she figured that all by herself. That's awesome.
Together and up to speed. Day 30.
Oh, here we go. Oh, look at that kit. Look at that Gretsch kit. Yeah, I remember her saying that she really wanted to get to a studio. No pinky. Saw it, right? There's no pinky now. Look at that confidence, too. She is jamming. Yes, no pinky now. Look at that posture too. She's sitting up straight. Sitting up straight. Looking where she's going, right? She's not looking up or looking to the side. She's on the ride. Woo! Now, so one thing, Kize said she might want to continue doing lessons, which I take as like a compliment and just a beautiful thing for the drumming community. Is this person comes in and goes, oh, I'd like to learn how to draw in 30 days. I'd like to learn how to do this in 30 days. I'd like to learn how to play drums. Ooh, I'm going to keep playing drums. I like that one. That is a testament to how cool the instrument is. So I bring that up because at the next lesson that we do, I'm going to talk to her about that left arm. You can't really see it here that well. You kind of can. Her arm is really far out. Now, another thing I want to point out too is that if you look at, and this is not something we talked about, this is something she figured out because she's smart. Her right hand, her right elbow is out enough that the arm, the hand, and the stick are not getting in the way of the left hand. So that's partly has something to do with that too. She's like this because she doesn't want those sticks to get in the way. And a lot of the times if I have a beginning student, I'll just have them lead on the hi-hat with the left hand. If you're one of my students, you probably know at the very least that I talk about the importance of that, because then it eliminates that issue, right? If you're playing like this, it eliminates this problem where you're clipping yourself. So that's why she's like this, is because she's eliminating that problem by expanding out. But she doesn't have to do that with the left hand. That left hand can be down. You want to be relaxed. And if you want to extend out and not let yourself clip sticks, you can still do that from this comfortable position. You don't have to be out like that. So that's something we'll talk about when we start full lessons. Look at that fluidity too. That double crash thing, we talked about how valuable that was going to be. Gotta hit the double crash. It doesn't matter that it's a ride and a crash. Those are the moments for drummers where it's not just like you're doing your job. You are hitting an instrument. You are making a sound. No, you gotta like feel it. Bam! Gotta double crash it. And she, you see the smile. Look, I'm even gonna pull it back. You see the smile on her face when she does it. Watch the face when she does the double crash. Smile just like emerges, you know what I mean? She's focused, she's in, and suddenly she has a moment, she's like, yeah, bam! That ride's a little high. That's what I thought. Good flam. So this is something we talked about too. She's doing all rights, then all lefts. That shows confidence, that shows control. Then goes back to the left, and now she starts alternating. Shows total control over the hands, total control over your ability to play in time and steady and consistent. Not just with your right hand because you're right-handed, but with either hand. And not only could she do them consistently with one and then with the other, then she's going back and forth. That's not easy. I even sat up straight just now air drumming it, because this action brings you down, right? It lets gravity take you unless you're holding yourself up. So just that moment where she starts doing this, it shows a total control over her arms and her trunk, as to just be able to just jump into it like it's nothing. She's jamming, dude! Yeah! She's having so much fun. Look at that! She's having so much fun. Look at that fluidity in the left arm. Right? Constantly moving.
Thanks for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed that challenge as much as I had fun going through it. There's definitely something therapeutic of hitting something over and over again during practice. I also wanted to give a thank you to both Drumeo and Carlos for all the help during this challenge. If you want to check out any of Drumeo's online courses, you can go to the description box below. And also Carlos started this really cool program called Drummers for All. It's a program that collects donations to pay for equipment and also lessons for those that can't afford it. If you're interested in any lessons with Carlos or the Drummers for All program, you can find all the info in the description box below as well. If you want to see any of my past learning challenges, you can check out the video here. I plan out all these videos and edit them myself, and I have some really cool new skills that I want to learn going forward. So if you want to keep up to date to those learning challenges, then go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification button below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!
Love it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So just to reiterate that last thing she was saying about the program, you know, Drumming for All, drummingforall.com is the website, and the program is designed to take in donations and pay for lessons and equipment for people around the world who can't afford it. She said it, you know, perfectly. And that was one of the main reasons why I thought this would be such a great opportunity. Of course, I wanted to help her out from the moment I read that email she sent me. But I knew this would be a great chance to kind of let people know about the program. So if you watched her and got to me and you're considering donating, we really appreciate it. Keep an eye on this channel to get updates on as of right now, Javier and Michael are the two students. We are looking for more donations, and then hopefully we can start bringing in more students, because I of course have more people asking if they can benefit from the program, but we don't have the funds to take on a third student right now. So yeah, that was awesome. She did great. That was really fun. And she clearly worked hard, man. If anybody out there wants to learn how to play the drums, you better be ready to work. You better be ready to get those blisters and to you know, really listen carefully to your instructor, whoever it is. And you know, if you want to go on Drumeo, or you just go to YouTube and type like how to play drums, like, you know, you better really be willing to listen and put in that work if you want to get this good this fast. Full-blown drummer in 30 days. Amazing. All right, I'll leave it at that. If you want to find out more about me, carlspazadrums.com. First lesson is free unless you put Kize, K-I-Z-E, in the subject, in which case you will get 2 free lessons from me. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take care.